Answer me this. Are you tired of feeling trapped in a cycle of debt and financial frustration? Have you ever wondered why, despite working hard, you still can't achieve the prosperity you desire so much? Believe me, you're not alone. Many people find themselves in the same place as you, struggling to make ends meet at the end of the month. But the truth is, our money problems are often caused by ourselves. This happens when we can't control our emotions or when we compare ourselves too much to others. Sometimes we want to live like someone else, but when our desires are greater than our ability to earn money, we end up in debt. Debts can make us feel poor because they drain our emotional and spiritual energies, and that's awful. But we can change that. Want to know how? Watch this video until the end, and I'm sure you'll leave here with your head held high and new knowledge in your heart. And know that to prosper, we need to improve our ability to get things done and to think. We need to be above average because those who only do what they're told rarely get recognition. So let's start this video on the right foot. Comment like this: I am above average. Just comment that, I am above average. When I see this comment, I'll give it a heart because I know you're someone who truly wants to change your life. Now that you've commented, let's continue. As I was saying, we often create our financial problems ourselves due to emotional lack of control or comparing ourselves to others. I have been in this situation too. Sometimes we want to live like others and end up making mistakes, like renting a house we can't afford or buying a car beyond our means. I'm not here to judge anyone because I've been through this too. I used to be the person who bought things without being able to afford them. But believe me, this can lead to misery and deep regret. I've lived through this experience and learned from it. After going through financial problems a few years ago, I learned my lesson and never bought beyond my means again. Now, when I think about buying something like a car, I evaluate if I can really afford it. If the installment price fits my budget and I can handle it, then I consider the purchase. This doesn't mean I will never finance or take advantage of promotions. What I mean is that if I can buy something, I buy it. But if I can't afford a more expensive car, I need to prioritize. What is more important? Looking rich to impress others or managing my finances responsibly? People might be impressed by you, but if your financial life is a lie, based on debt and about to collapse, you will only grow as much as your abilities allow. Many say what a person has is a result of their capability. But what about heirs? For them, the original capability doesn't matter anymore because they inherited their wealth. But someone at some point had the ability to build that fortune. As for the person who inherited it, can they maintain and even multiply the value of the inheritance received? Capability is fundamental in determining the level of prosperity. When our desires exceed our production capacity, we start accumulating debt. And these debts make us feel poor because they drain our emotional and spiritual energies. Therefore, don't get carried away emotionally to the point of wanting more than you can produce financially. Your ability to generate wealth needs to be greater than your desires. The fewer material desires you have, the more chances you have to prosper. I lived in poverty most of my life, but now I'm a bit better. Nowadays, I don't face financial difficulties. If I had to point to just one reason for this, it would be my mindset. God's blessing has always been with me, but it's important to understand that this blessing doesn't guarantee money. Money is the result of our work, and this work will only generate what we desire if we have the right mindset. So the first step to prosper financially is to get out of ignorance. There's no doubt about what I'm about to teach you. The first thing that starts attracting wealth into your life, financial wealth, is mindset. If you don't change your mind, you won't change your financial situation. If you don't change your way of thinking, your bank account will remain the same. Believe what I'm saying. Your mindset will determine your ability, and God only sends what you are capable of managing. Ignorance is the mother of poverty. If you remain ignorant, you will stay poor forever. We need to change our way of thinking about money in our minds. For many people like me who grew up in a religion, money is seen as a sin. Is money a sin? No, but it can lead to many sins. Money makes it easier for pride to go to your head, and you know how that ends. He ended up wishing for even the food of the pigs. He decided to return to his father, humble himself, and confess his mistake. He said, "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me as one of your servants." starting from scratch, but not accepting staying in misery. There are people who, when confronted with difficulties, say, "This is what God has for me." However, your mentality determines where you will end up. Your way of thinking influences when you achieve success. Take the son of a billionaire with his father's mentality. Take everything away from him, throw him on the street, and see if he refuses to work selling something or serving somewhere. It's unlikely he will find a way to get back up to find a product to sell on the street, because mentality determines what you accept and what you reject. It's mentality that influences your pocket. You need to understand that mentality is the foundation of prosperity. If you feel your mentality is limited, that you don't even know how to make money or how to want it, know that it's possible to change. One way to change your mentality is to change your environments. Our mind is influenced by the environment around us. When we start frequenting challenging environments, instead of judging, we can learn from them. Unfortunately, some people enter challenging environments and spend all their time judging. Look at that one with expensive shoes, that one with a luxury car. Instead of learning how these people achieve what they have, they prefer to judge. This makes these challenging environments not change their mentality because their heart is closed and their mind is too hard to learn. They prefer to judge. Those who truly love money, who see it as a goal, are never satisfied. Even if they earn 50 million, they will always envy those with 100 million. Even if they buy a plane, they will always see someone with a bigger plane and think, "I am never satisfied with what I have." In short, the first step to changing your mentality is having the correct motivation for seeking money. And that motivation should be to fulfill your purpose in life. As the Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 10, and chapter 5, verse 10, you will never be satisfied if you love money. If you want to be rich, you must have few desires. If you want to be poor, you must have many desires. Even those who earn $1 million a month and have many desires never stop desiring and end up feeling poor. On the other hand, those who earn $10,000 or $5,000 a month and have few desires feel satisfied because their desires determine how they feel. What is the problem with people? They want money for money's sake. They want to do business just to get rich, to buy luxury items, and show others that they are winning in life. However, this behavior can cause emotional illness, does not attract divine blessing, and never brings true satisfaction. When we see people who have succeeded in life without giving up their faith in God and still prosper financially, we understand that by following this teaching, changing mentality, and placing trust in God, money becomes a natural consequence of investing in your life purpose. Yes, money is essential for our lives. We need money to pay bills, for children's education, to buy food, and much more. The problem arises when money becomes our master, when we start to idolize it. Prospering with God's blessing is important, but it is crucial that money is not placed first in our lives. We must understand that money exists to serve us, not the other way around. Additionally, it is fundamental to understand that there are basic principles of prosperity. The first is mentality. We need to have a mentality of prosperity, a mentality of wealth. Secondly, it's important to have a shielded heart, a firm heart that is not swayed by the superficialities and materialities of this world. Those who are easily impressed by material things are not yet ready to truly prosper. The third thing you need to do if you really want to prosper is learn to work with strategies and sell. That's right. Even in the biblical passage of Elisha's widow, we see that if you don't work and don't sell, you won't succeed. Let's remember this story. The widow's husband worked for Elisha in the school of prophets. When he passed away, he left the widow and her 2 sons in debt, and the creditors were about to take the sons as payment for the debts. The widow sought Elisha for help, and he told her she needed to do something. So what did she do? Elisha instructed her to gather all the vessels she had at home. Even if she thought she had nothing, there was always something God could use. The widow said, "I only have 1 jar of oil." Elisha told her to gather as many vessels as possible. The woman started the day in debt and ended the day with her debts paid and a reserve of oil that would sustain her financially. But notice that it wasn't just a miracle that happened. She also had to work. God doesn't give money to anyone for free. He blesses and prospers our work. So what have I been asking God for? I've been asking for strategies, health, and wisdom. Money will not prosper emotionally, spiritually, or in the family. But financially, a person has money because of what is written in chapter 25 of the book of Matthew, starting from verse 14. It says, "It is like a man going on a journey, who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, each according to his ability, and then he went on his journey. After a long time the master returned and settled accounts with them. The man who had received 5 talents brought the other 5. 'Master,' he said, 'you entrusted me with 5 talents. See, I have gained 5 more.' His master replied, 'Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness.' The man with 2 talents also came. 'Master,' he said, 'you entrusted me with 2 talents. See, I have gained 2 more.' His master replied, 'Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness.' Then the man who had received 1 talent came. 'Master,' he said, 'I knew that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid and went out and hid your talent in the ground. See, here is what belongs to you.' His master replied, 'You wicked, lazy servant. So you knew that I harvest where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed? Well, then you should have put my money on deposit with the bankers, so that when I returned, I would have received it back with interest. Take the talent from him and give it to the one who has 10 talents. For whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. And throw that worthless servant outside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.' He wanted to do what was right, but ended up losing everything, because the Bible says that those who do not have, even what little they have, will be taken and given to those who have more. So the one who had 5 talents multiplied to 10, and now has 11, including what he did not work for, because the little that the other had did not bear fruit and was transferred to the one who had much. This is why those who do not produce end up serving those who are producing. Those who do not multiply will have to transfer to those who are multiplying. This is in the Bible and has been working for 2,000 years. Multiplication happens because of our mentality and capacity. They provide us with even more. This is incredible. Do you know why you don't have what you need? It's because you might be desiring more than you produce financially or have not yet developed your capacity. When someone is at the right level of capacity and is satisfied with it, they do not produce more. So they cannot expect to grow, because only by increasing your capacity do you increase what you receive. When that widow's capacity ran out, she sought to empower herself, and you can do the same today. Dedicate 1 or 2 hours a day to increase your specific knowledge in finances. Read books on finance, watch lectures, and listen to sermons on the subject. Start with information and seek knowledge. Increase your capacity. There comes a time when we need to decide if we want to continue in a life of scarcity and financial difficulties, or if we want to prosper. To prosper, we need to start increasing our ability to get things done. Prospering means doing beyond, doing more than what is asked, exceeding expectations, and delivering more than promised. Because those who only do the minimum necessary are useless. If you work for someone and always do the minimum, what makes you different? What gives you value, including financially? The secret is to develop skills to do what few can. It's to increase your capacity, to have an active mind, to think, to act. It's not enough to follow orders without thinking. The more you think, produce, and surprise, the more you prosper, the more opportunities arise. Therefore, we need to decide to change, increase our capacity, and completely transform our results through it. If you are not satisfied with your financial situation, the first step is not to accept it. Start changing. Those who are content with what they have will not have the strength to change. This was the first video where we talked about how to get out of debt and start to prosper financially. I have much more to share with you. If you want me to make part 2, then comment below. Make part 2 and I will do it. Now I will leave 2 videos on your screen where I talk about how you can get out of poverty and achieve prosperity in a short time by modeling the mindset, habits, and strategies of the great billionaires. Click on them now and I'll see you in the next video.